Well, hello, everybody. This is John Paul Mendocha, Dr. Speed Selling. This is another exciting episode of Raging Verbalist number 289. If you're counting, hopefully you are. And if you're new, welcome. If you're an old timer, glad that you're back. We're going to have an exciting rant today. I mean, it is really a mind twister of bureaucracy bullshit beyond belief. But first, let's get some things out of the way. First off, foremost, is that come live Friday, Facebook on the Position to Win book group. Go live on YouTube and check us out. Also, I don't really venture off into politics too much, but I mean, this one is kind of like a goofy bureaucratic nonsense. So here we go. Now, recently, I was in this situation where I needed to have my medical bills figured out. And because of how my company is set up, I was able to do what's called a medical reimbursement plan. Very cool idea. You get reimbursed for a bunch of stuff, and it's totally legit. That matches what the IRS says you need to do. And the neat part about it is that you get paid on pre-tax dollars. It's a reimbursement, so you're not making money, but you're not paying it post-tax. Then you figure out what that cost differential is. So it's worth the effort. Now, the issue is that you have to send it to a clearinghouse. That's what I do, and found a great service and got it set up. Now, part of it is learning what is legitimate, what isn't legitimate, and the list is quite long. Some of the things that aren't covered, like hey, you can't get you know can't get a boob job, though I'm not really in the market for one anyway. So I started gathering up my receipts, things that I have to do all the time. Now, because I'm on Medicare and I'm on regular Medicare, I would not recommend Medicare Advantage because that doesn't fit me, may fit you, but not me, because I don't want somebody controlling my life to that extent. All right. So, because of being on Medicare, you have to have what's called Part D, which is the drug plan. And I found the cheapest one I could because I just don't have a lot of drugs that I have to take. In fact, I only have one. And so I found the cheapest one. It was Aetna Silver Script. It was $4.50. Why not? I mean, we're good to go, meets the statutory requirements. Well, funny thing happened is after my first year, they bumped it from $4.50 to $53.60. That's quite a bump. Now, I was not aware of it. I was too busy doing deals and doing stuff, and that kind of pissed me off anyway. We'll change it in October, by the way. I'm going to ditch Aetna. So here's the bureaucratic mess that I'm in right now. So I need to have an invoice from Aetna for what I am paying. 2025, isn't it? I looked at the calendar, checked it before I got on here, and all I need to do is get an invoice that shows that I'm paying $53.60 a month per our agreement for 12 months. And therefore, from the start date of my medical reimbursement plan, which turns out to be June, didn't get it figured out any earlier than that, but I get reimbursed on that. So that means that I get that money back and don't have to pay tax, don't have to pay FICO, don't have to pay all the other bullshit that goes into it. So I'm ahead of the game. Well, that sounds simple enough, right? I mean, I'm dealing with a transaction. I'm dealing with an institution that's supposed to be taking care of this. So I start calling in May because it's going to kick off in June. Get ahead of the game, right? Just get in front of the big rolling rock and say, this is what I need. I need an invoice. Well, first off, I go through the sticker shock of finding out that they've gone from $4.50 to $53.60. And they tell me, well, there is no invoice because of how you, well, nobody told me this part. So we'll get to that in a second. It's a jumbled mess. So hang with me. So I said, okay, well, you got to send me something that shows what I'm paying you, right? I mean, it's only the correct thing to do. So they tell me they're going to send me a statement, but they have to mail it to me, and it's 10 to 14 days. So it is a bureaucratic bullshit setup designed, of course, to thwart somebody from asking this stupid thing. By the way, it was very hard to get through their thick brush of voicemail hell, but I did. Okay, so I complained a lot. Now, I did get a letter from somebody from Aetna, and it was from their complaint analyst. Hey, we're really sorry. If you can't pay your bills, go to Medicare, whine and cry. Maybe they give you a deal. That ain't my problem. My problem is I need a damn invoice. Now, if you may have looked at the calendar, this is now months later. We're into July. And I decide that I'm going to go make another run at this because, I just don't want this thing to linger. I want to get that dough back. Now, it's not like I lose that money, but it's going to be a hassle. It's a little retroactive, but okay. Now, it took me 3 decidedly tough phone calls, an hour and 20 minutes of bureaucratic knot tying bullshit to figure out what has gone on. So this is what's going on. First off, if you sign up and you have them just pull the money from your bank so you can just sit there in leisure and retirement and everything, they don't send you any accounting at all. And in fact, they use a third party that's not even part of Aetna. Now, here's the reason why the Aetna Silver Script doesn't work for me. I can buy my meds cheaper at Costco and also cheaper at Mark Cuban's website, though it takes longer. So I usually go for convenience and pay a few extra bucks at Costco. Then I can by using their low negotiated pricing. Really? So, okay, now they don't handle the drug thing. It has to be done through CVS. So they don't do that. And then I now find out that they don't even handle their billing. It's done through a service called Instamed and all of that, which of course it took to the third person who had me saying, hey, this is not right. Now, once I got into Instamed, here's when the real fun happened. Get ready, gang. Since we set it up as an auto pay for $4.50 and we never rescinded that, what happens is they take my $4.50 and say, thank you, we'll apply it to your $53.60. And then we're going to take the $49.10 directly from your account. But if you go on to Instamed, which is their digital pay service, they only know about what they've inhaled from your bank. So I have not a single sheet of paper that shows that I'm paying $53.60 a month. Now you may say, John, is that really worth the hassle and everything? Well, it's over $600 a year. It's actually, getting up there, right? $640 a year, round it up, maybe. Yeah, it's important. Yeah, I don't want to have to deal with that. I want my money going to where it's supposed to go. And it is not out of the question. I call it basically fraud that you're not showing me exactly what I'm paying and that you have no method by which to do it. So now I'm waiting until August the 12th to get this report to see if I can submit it to get the people who run the medical reimbursement plan to approve it. Now, I eventually get a hold of the Instamed people who lay it out for me. So here's what I've done, and here's what I have to do, is I've canceled any auto pay at all. Because if I do that, it forces Aetna, great expense, which I want to inflict that expense on them, to mail me an invoice, which I then have to pay, which of course, all the Aetna people, all 3 of them I talked to, warned me with dire consequences how that may be bad because I could not be paying on time and therefore I wouldn't have the great benefits, which are zero, zip, nada, not a damn thing. So here's my suggestion to all of you. First off, is that you got to check this stuff very carefully. And the other thing is that I would avoid Aetna like the plague. Now, I told them that I was going to go live on the internet, but I'm going to tell you my experience is that their customer service is atrocious because they don't have answers to simple questions. Well, we just don't have a way to send it to you. And oh, by the way, everybody asks me what my email address is, even though they can't email me anything. Now, the guy from Instamed was great given the constraints that he had, which is he sent me. And by the way, he said, weren't you getting emails every month? No, I wasn't. Well, John, could you check on it? Again, he was a nice guy. Can't be vitriolic against that guy. And I said, yeah, let me check my 233,235 emails in my Google Gmail and see. And the only one I got was when I finally logged in and set up my account, which was the night before. Now, he did send me a summary. He sent me this information, but it's the incorrect amount, which I don't want to get nailed into the system because I want every single penny that I am owed and I deserve and I should get. So that's my being tied up in bureaucratic knots. And all I can say is that if this is the future and this is how AI is going to function, it's bullshit. Because by the way, They use AI a lot in Aetna, but it is another idiot, not artificial intelligence. So all I can tell you is that that's the case. Now, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be buying my book. Most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it, position to win. You can pick it up in any bookstore by asking for that title, and they'll be able to get it. Or you can go to Amazon, and you can also get it digitally. Digitally, you can get it Kindle, Nook, and Apple iBooks. Also, you can go to our website, positionwinbook.com, positionwinbook.com. Check it out, and I will autograph it, even though I've got a broken wing, and we'll get it done. Now, wrap this up. Bureaucratic nightmare. These guys read the book Catch 22 and said, this is an owner's manual, and this is how we should build a system which is intractable, impossible to work through, and total, absolute bullshit. And with that, I just want to thank everybody who's joined me live here on Raging Verbalist number 289. And keep in mind that that was actually the first car that I ever learned how to drive on was a Ford Fairlane, which had a 289. So with 8 cylinders crashing away, I'm just going to say, have a great one. Don't let the bastards get you down. And most importantly, we're going to keep talking about bureaucratic nightmares. We'll see if Aetna does anything. I have no faith that they're actually going to send me something that's going to be usable because of how screwed up their system is. Stay tuned. I'll keep you up to date. And until then, this has been the Raging Verbalist, John Paul Mendocha. Have a great one. And hopefully your bureaucratic nightmare won't be as bad as mine. Take care now. Bye.